Alright, so it's a 2008 Dodge Charger. I'm replacing the wheel bearing hub assembly on it. I was looking for, YouTube videos to see if anybody else had done it. Most people replaced it on a two-wheel drive. This is an all-wheel drive V6. So the stuff you didn't see was, obviously remove the tire, wheel. Then I removed the compressed and removed the brake caliper. Then I removed the mounting bracket for the brake caliper with the brake pads. You see that? That's on the floor there. And then what I did is I soaked all four bolts around that hold the wheel bearing to this, including the nut here and possibly this one up here, just in case I have to remove it. I wanted this one to be, to be soaked so it'd be easier to remove, and then I could pull it. But what I'm gonna do is remove the spindle nut, and then I'm gonna try to crack the four bolts, and hopefully it'll just come right out. I also soaked around the bearing housing, just with the PB Blast. So we'll get started here. Just gotta find a mounting point for this camera. Alright, so get started here. I'm gonna pull this axle nut off first. Just the light a little bit. You can see the holes back there. Let's see. Alright, axle nut is a 32. Let's just make sure there's no... Oop. That helps. I soaked it in PB Blast, and I let it sit for about, an hour to 2 hours, and when I had lunch, came back, and it came off fairly easy. So as you can see, the axle's moving in and out. Now, I got 1, 2, 3, 4 star tight bolts to remove. So I'm gonna grab this. You're gonna want to pick up this socket set. It's this is a Blue Point I got from a Snap-on dealer. It's really helpful, especially when you're working on the foreign cars like Mercedes-Benz or BMW. I know their brake caliper systems, or just the brakes in general, require to have this set. So let's see, what size is this? That's too small. Maybe this one here. Nope, it's not that one. Oh, yep, there it goes. That's the one. Alright, so it's the inverse, it's like an inverse Torx. The size is E12. That's the size of the socket size that fits on those. And we're gonna Let's see if I can crack it loose with a... Oh, gonna need an extension on this. Using a wobble head extension. There it goes. Don't want to use a gun when I try to crack it by hand, because you don't know if you're gonna, you could possibly snap it off, and that's not good. Then you're gonna be, that a couple hour job is gonna turn into like a whole day job. Alright, that's loose. A bit of a why I prefer to use a wobble head extension is you get that little bit of play. Let's see. Because you got the axle in the way. Once again, soak these in PB Blast. If you can, bring the the car inside the garage so it warms up just a little bit. And soak all the bolts in PB Blast or liquid wrench or whatever your preference is. That way it becomes loose. See, so that's your bolt holding on your hub bearing assembly. Right, like I said, it's a. I don't know if you guys can see it. There he goes. It's like it's a Torx bolt. I ordered a new hub bearing from Amazon. It is a brand that Summit Racing does carry. Now here's the tricky part. Right here, where my hand is the because it's a all-wheel drive car. You have the strut going over the half shaft, the axle. So you may want to get the bolt loose enough and then remove the ratchet, otherwise it'll get stuck and then you'll end up having to tighten just to get the bolt out. That's the other one. Alright. definitely have videos out there where people have done between a certain year and certain year Chrysler 300C, or they've done a Charger, but it's most of them are, that I've seen at least, are two-wheel drives, not the all-wheel drives. And they're replacing the front bearing. The reason I'm replacing my bearing is I have a grinding noise when I start to move the car. Last weekend I had the car up, all four wheels off the ground, up on jack stands. I removed this front wheel and I left the other wheels on, and then I had a friend come over and start the car and just throw it in drive, and I couldn't hear the noise. I couldn't, couldn't hear the grinding noise that I normally hear when it's on the ground. And I was looking at different forums online, and I had no luck. A lot of people were saying it's this, it's that, it's the rotor, it's the brake pads. I thought maybe it was a stuck brake caliper, but that wasn't the case, because I feel like if it was a brake, if the brake piston and the caliper was stuck, I'd probably see a lot of wear on one side of the brake pad versus the other, and also being this cold, I'd probably see some smoke coming off of it. But then I found somebody mentioned on a forum that they had a similar noise, and when they had it up in the air there was no noise, but the minute they put weight on it, the noise came back. So I said, alright, so that sounds like what I got going on. Alright, all four bolts are out, and I'm gonna have to use it. Oh, there it goes. That was it. Boom. Easy peasy. It came out. Just a simple hit. What I did is I made sure to soak this whole edge area in PB Blast. And just, I had about maybe a quarter of the can left. So I soaked the bolts, soaked around, soaked the bolts again, soaked around again till the can ran dry. And then, like I said, I let it sit for a couple of about an hour or two. I'm not hearing the grinding noise, but then again, there's no weight on this bearing. So this is my first and hopefully last step. It's just replacing this, and that'll take care of my issue. If I still have the grinding noise, then I know it wasn't the bearing, and I probably got something else going on. Got a cloth. Now I have a wheel speed sensor going in right here. You can see this wire. It's going in. It's reading exactly. It's reading your drive shaft axle right here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab a little brake clean. Hit it with some brake clean. Alright. Had that with brake clean. Got that done. And okay. Here's the new wheel bearing. We got the whole assembly. If you search for this wheel bearing on Summit Racing, if you search up wheel bearing on Summit Racing for a 2008 Charger, they actually don't give you the whole hub and bearing assembly. They only sell you the bearings itself, as if you were going to take apart the wheel bearing, the wheel and hub assembly, and then replace the bearings inside. They only show you the bearings. You have to actually search for like the wheel bearing and hub assembly, and then it comes up. Because anytime I've searched wheel bearings for other vehicles I've had, or just go into the categories, you automatically find what you're looking for. But when you look at wheel bearings in the category, it doesn't actually give you the, what I'm holding here, the whole hub assembly with, and everything. So, alright, we're going to put this one on. Don't forget, you got your dust shield here, so you want to make sure that's going to go in the right direction, which is just like that. And that's there. And then you're going to sort of just push this back. And then play with your dust shield a little bit. There we go. Okay, and we'll start one of the bolts. I'll also just put on the axle nut real quick. That way it'll hold the bearing to the axle. Alright, and there it goes. You can try to line it up as best as you can. Let's see. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna coat this in a little bit of I think it'll be okay. I was gonna say maybe coat it in a little bit of anti-seize, but Got all four started. Grab my ratchet here. Coming through smoothly. Not feeling any resistance, so be sure you're not cross-threading. Well, I'm feeling pretty good. Pulling in. If you do end up breaking it, you know, when you take the bolts off, try to get yourself a nice long 3/8 ratchet to give yourself leverage, or, you know, 3/8 breaker bar. They weren't difficult to break loose, and I'm pretty sure that the PB blast had something to do with helping that out. That one there, I'm gonna crisscross. So I'm gonna come, I did the, from where I'm sitting, it's the bottom left corner, and I'll move to the top right corner. For those of you at home looking at the video, you would be the top left corner that I'm working on right now, and the one I just tightened was the bottom right corner. Once again, that's you looking at it. For me doing it, it was the top. It's the top right that I'm cranking on right now. I'm gonna go back and crank on the bottom left. I am gonna look up to see if there's torque specifications for this. This is the bottom right corner for me. And this is, this is my commuter car to work every day. So I've been hearing, I bought the car used. Been hearing the noise for a little bit. Everything told me, like, okay, it sounds like it's the wheel bearing. Alright. Alright, it's showing me. Well, I can't find exactly these rear bolts right here. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to really just crank on it a little bit. They're showing me for the front, the nut on the axle is going to be 157 foot-pounds of torque. So I will zip it on with my impact, and then I will get my torque wrench and crank down on it. Just waiting for my air compressor to turn off. So, got that on. I torqued the nut to 157 foot-pounds. Alright, now I'm putting the rotor back on. Take this off. That's really one. Didn't mean to tighten that up all the way, otherwise then you don't have the, it just tightens it down and you can't get the other bolt in. So that's why I want to loosen that up. These are 18. Alright, I do apologize if I was cut off at any time. My GoPro battery died, so we just got a new one in. So, recapping, 4 Torx bolts in the back, your axle nut in the front, that is, and I'm going to tell you that size right now actually, that is a 32 millimeter impact socket. I'm pretty sure I picked this up from AutoZone. You know, it works wonders. You got your, you also have your reverse Torx sockets. My set is from Blue Point, and it goes all the way up to E20, and the smallest is an E4. So it's a nice little set. I wouldn't invest in it, you know, if you're gonna. If you feel like you're going to be doing a lot of these. Now we're going to put the brake caliper back on. Alright. And the brake caliper bolts are a 13 millimeter socket. I just, honestly, you just tucked it out of the way. You have enough play with the hose to just kind of move it out of the way. And I rested it on the lower control arm, and it really didn't interfere with getting any of the other bolts out. So, can't do that. Or you can hang it out of the way or whatever you want to do. However you do it. And these, honestly, I just cracked loose with my ratchet. Once again, like I said, invest in a nice 3/8 ratchet with a long handle. And you know, if you happen to come across this exact one, it's great. This is a Craftsman. I bought it years ago, and it's really served me well over the course of its life. I probably got this ratchet in like somewhere around before 06. No, I'm sorry, actually 08, 07. And I just hand tight. You know, you don't gotta go crazy because you could obviously snap those off. And now we're gonna just that's done. And what I did do, at least, you know, for a Mopar guy like me, a lot of the Mopar, or at least just the parts itself, are I'm sorry, rambling. The lug nuts. They're really crappy quality. Over the years, they swell, obviously with the heat, and then you have a tough time getting what, you know, say if the socket's a 21, now all of a sudden the nuts are 22, but then 22 is not exactly perfect, and you end up having to put it in a vice grip to get it out of the socket. So I ended up buying a whole set of 20 new sockets for new lug nuts for the Charger. I got a set of what is it? Is it 20? About a set of 20 for literally like maybe $16 on Amazon. I'm going to replace all of them while I got the car in the garage now, and then I'm going to take the car outside for a spin. And hopefully the noise is gone. So, and then I torque the lug nuts down to 100 foot-pounds. So I'll zap it on with my impact gun, I'll drop the car down on its wheel, and then I'll zap it, and then I'll torque it to 100, and then I'll go take it for a spin around the block. And once I upload this to YouTube, I will put in the comment section if my noise went away or it didn't. If it doesn't, you guys got a great video of how to change a wheel bearing on a 2008 Charger all-wheel drive. If you're interested in the model, I think it's an SE, not SC, SE. Appreciate you guys for watching.